Ah, vacations. The sunshine, the relaxation, the smell of sea, sand, and blood. Wait, what? It turns out some of the most beautiful vacation destinations in the world have dark pasts. Whether it's the beaches of Normandy or the ancient battlegrounds of Sparta, there are very few places in the world that have been completely untouched by war. So next time you're at the beach, just remember, you could also be at the site of a great battle in history. Okinawa Islands, Japan. Of the thousands of small islands surrounding Japan, Okinawa marks its place as one of the most historically significant battlegrounds in history. The main island, where the capital of Naha lies, is the smallest and least populated of Japan's main islands. But it still has plenty to do and see, making it a popular tourist destination. If you visit now, you can tour countless battlefields across the main island where the famous Battle of Okinawa took place from April to June of 1945. It was the bloodiest battle of the Pacific, with a huge number of casualties on both sides, totaling approximately 160,000 in the armed forces, and almost 150,000 Okinawa civilians, half of the island's population. War in Europe was already over, but the Japanese and American forces continued to fight, with the US intending Okinawa be the final stop before they hit mainland Japan. Over the 3-month siege, every beach and town in Okinawa became a battlefield. One particularly steep, rugged cliff, 400 feet high, nicknamed Hacksaw Ridge, was where a Christian soldier who refused to carry a gun saved the lives of around 75 men. Private First Class Desmond Doss, a conscientious objector, carried each injured soldier he could reach down a rope-supported rescue basket, while the Japanese tried to blow him to kingdom come. Today, vacationing on Okinawa is idyllic, and tourists can sunbathe and snorkel on the beaches that were once the front of the largest amphibious attack of the war, as well as visit the Hacksaw Ridge, where so many men lost their lives. Thermopylae, Greece. If you visit Thermopylae, Greece today, you'll experience incredible food and stunning views while you lounge in natural hot springs that date back to antiquity and give the region its name, including the very spring that Heracles himself apparently rested in after battle. But travel back over 2,000 years to 480 BC, and instead of serenity, you'll be standing in the heart of one of the major battles of the Greco-Persian War. It was then that the Spartans, Boeotians, and other Greek city-state troops, led by Leonidas I, came into conflict with Xerxes I's Persian forces on the narrow Thermopylae Pass in a fight for Greece. At the time, the pass was little more than a natural corridor, about 100 meters across and next to the sea. 2,000 years later, and it's 5.6 miles from the sea in some places, with flat terrain on both sides. Famously, the Battle of Thermopylae is known for the overwhelming disparity in the number of Greek forces facing down Persian Xerxes' armies. But despite their lesser numbers, when Xerxes sent the defenders a message telling them to lay down their arms, Leonidas reportedly replied with the ancient version of, "Come and take them." The battle continued for 3 days, until the Greeks were betrayed by Ephialtes, who led Xerxes' forces around the pass to attack from behind, finally defeating Leonidas and his men and opening the pass to the rest of the Persian army. But at a great price. To defeat and kill 2,000 to 4,000 Greek men, Xerxes in turn lost approximately 20,000 of his forces, according to ancient Greek historian Herodotus. Today, you can visit the spot where Leonidas I of Sparta died, see his monument, and soak in a hot spring almost directly overlooking the battlefield. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona. It's one of the most popular vacation destinations in Europe, with everything from flamenco dancing to the beach to the famous Las Ramblas strip. It's also technically a battlefield. Take a walk up the hill that overlooks the city, and you'll find yourself at Fort Montjuic, the site of multiple conflicts across centuries of Spanish history, including the Spanish Civil War and Catalan Revolt. But the most famous of its clashes is arguably the Battle of Montjuic, when the Spanish fought against Catalonian and French forces in Barcelona in January 1641. During the First Catalan Revolt, Barcelona was one of the few cities where the Spanish were defeated by the Catalonians, in no small part due to the fortified and easily defended position of Montjuic Castle. Initially a castle, later a fort, Montjuic gave the Catalans a fantastic advantage on the oncoming Spanish forces. The occupying rebels were able to use the fortifications and physically higher position to counterattack, sending cannons firing down the mountain into the city of Barcelona and decimating the Spanish troops who were trying to advance. So the next time you visit Barcelona, take a cable car up to the castle that has, more than once, been at the epicenter of the city's colorful past. Manila Bay, Philippines. Manila, the capital of the Philippines, is a hugely popular tourist destination with plenty of museums to visit, national food to try, and culture to soak in. It's also home to Manila Bay, an almost completely landlocked natural harbor, considered one of the greatest of its kind in the world. Tourists spend their evenings strolling the bay and indulging in food and drink at nearby restaurants. But what they might not realize is that they're in the heart of one of the most significant naval battles in history, and the first proper battle of the Spanish-American War of 1898 that later helped to end Spanish occupation of the Philippines for the first time since 1521. A few days earlier, on April 25, 1898, the war between the Spanish and Americans officially began after tensions between the two had risen to an all-time high due to an unknown explosion in Havana, Cuba, that caused the deaths of 260 U.S. crewmen and was subsequently blamed on Spanish forces. Afterwards, out in the Pacific, U.S. forces were ordered to attack and capture the Spanish fleet surrounding the Philippines to offset any naval aid. This move prompted the start of the Battle of Manila Bay. It was short, bloody, and highly effective for the Americans. Commodore George Dewey and his men slipped into the bay in the early hours of the morning. Before the occupying Spanish even knew what hit them, fire was raining on their heads as Dewey pressed his advantage and burnt their ships. After the whole fleet was destroyed mere hours later, Dewey sent a letter to the Spanish governor in Manila, promising to not turn his treatment onto the city itself, in exchange for a ceasefire on the Spanish side and the use of the telegraph. Just like that, one of the biggest and most dramatic naval battles was over. The U.S. had won. Hundreds of Spanish were killed. Meanwhile, the Americans lost under 10 men. Next time you visit Manila Bay, if you listen closely, you can almost hear the sounds of burning ships sinking under the waves. Overall, across the world, there are many beautiful vacation destinations which are battlefields from years past. Some you can still visit, or some, like those above, have grown into the hustle and bustle of life where they are, without anyone stopping and thinking about the blood spilled under their feet centuries or even mere decades ago.